Okay, y'all, so happy Tuesday. Today I was inspired because I was talking to my sister about how we tend to lose motivation to do things for ourselves. And it's like, yeah, I know these things are supposed to help me be better. Like, it can be something as small as washing the dishes, or something as serious as taking your medication, or not eating certain foods to reduce your inflammation or your digestive issues. But yeah, sometimes we just don't feel like doing things. And so we may listen to that inner voice who may be like, I don't want to do it, and sound like that little teenager self of yours that just wants to sit down and indulge and watch TV and eat snacks and just ignore all the troubles or all the responsibilities that we have to do. Because honestly, being an adult is tough. And not only do we have obligations like work obligations, bills, and we have to like take care of ourselves, and sometimes we don't feel like doing that. And so like sometimes, and even if we're going through a difficult time in our lives, it can be difficult for us to even just find the motivation to go back to school, to take a few hours a day and work on that project that's going to start that business that you want to be. And so one of the things that my sister was um, talking to me about, and she said something that was really interesting, which is why I want to share it to you today, is that like sometimes we just have to realize that sometimes we treat strangers or we treat other people better than we would treat ourselves. And so sometimes when we think of our future selves, we don't see our future selves as a tangible thing. We don't see our future selves as a possibility that could happen anytime in the future. We just think like, oh, okay, that's just a nice wish. Our future selves, that would be amazing. But I'm gonna sit here and not do anything to move myself towards that purpose or towards that person that I want to be. And oftentimes we can be sitting, wishing, and hoping to be that future self, but not really wanting to do the work because we're not motivated, because we're so busy focused on the here and now and the effort that's required for us to be that future person. So, one of the things that I was discussing with my sister was how I like to envision or just get myself in the mindset of I am my future person. Like, whether I am the person now or the person in the future, I'm still that person. And even if you look at who you were in the past, that is still you. The only thing that changed were your habits. The only thing that changed was what you decided to do. And so you have to start thinking in the mind frame of I'm going to show up as my future self. And I'm going to show up as the person that I want to be. Because if I'm that person now of who I want to be, what would I do? And so my sister's like, yeah, but sometimes that doesn't really work. Like, yeah, like I know I want to show up as that future person, but I don't want to. Like, I don't have that. And so what she did or she does, if that showing up as your future self doesn't work, is that she takes it back into this sense of, okay, so what would I do to help my future self? Because I'm thinking it's easier to help strangers or to help people that you don't know because you're nicer to people that you don't know than you are to yourself. You'll be more inclined to help others than yourself. And so if you're thinking of your future self as somebody else, she typically goes into the mindset of what can I do now to help my future self that my future self will thank me for if I did this now. So if you're 10 years down the road, what could you do now that could be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad past Amber or past whatever your name is, like, I'm so glad you do that. Thank you, because you're making my life so much easier now. And so, yeah, those are two options for you if you have a hard time finding motivation to do those things that you need to do to feel better. And so, if you find yourself exercising, eating right, and meditating and doing all these things, but you're still having a hard time finding motivation or energy, there's probably a telltale sign that there's something else going on with you and there's some underlying issues that you need to be looking into. It could be hormonal imbalances, nutrient deficiencies, there can be issues in your nervous system, because you could have a parasympathetic dominant issue or a sympathetic nervous system dominant issue, because your autonomic nervous system can be out of whack, and that can be cause of a lot of different issues. It can be mental, emotional, or just trauma related, and or stress related, chronic stress related. And so there are certain things that you can do in lifestyle habit changes and certain nutrients that you can take that can bring all those things back in balance. So if you find yourself having like hard time finding energy and hard time showing up, and you can't motivate yourself to do anything regardless of how you try to play it, because sometimes we do have to try to talk to ourselves like we are a child, or talk to ourselves like we are outside of ourselves, because it's just really your spiritual self trying to motivate your physical self to do what you need to do. And if you need help, I'm here, and I have coaching available, and December will be my last group coaching for the year. And if you want to take advantage of that, then let me know. But if not, then I hope this helps, and I hope you find motivation to step into your future self. Happy Tuesday.